bem que melhor mereças pelos anos que trabalhaste, mas também nunca esqueças a família que deixaste.
He never say no to nobody. He's always receives anybody with an open arms. He likes to help. He's a very good guy. And so I found out that he was born in the Azores, in Vila Franca. He came to Canada with his parents and his brother and his sister. He was around 11 years old. And as it happens to anyone who arrives in Canada, I had to go to school. But Joe didn't like school. He wanted to work. And he immediately started working in the Portuguese community. Of course, our community was not as developed as it is now. He started organizing dancing parties and managing bands, and after a while he decided to create his own band with John. And the organization was called Venus Productions. And everything was going well, and they had a lot of business. They opened some stores under the name of Venus Productions. And then in 1974, he decided to see if it was possible to register the name of Venus Productions. But unfortunately, there was already one registered with City Hall, so they opted for Venus Creations. And soon he started thinking about this project of Amor de Artista, because he always liked to help people, like to explore talent and so on and so forth. And so around 2000, the year 2000, he had a group of artists singing in his shows, and he needed a song for them to sing all together. And Daniel Carvalho, which is his friend and mine as well, he wrote a song called Amor de Artista. That was the foundation for this project called Amor de Artista. The idea was to help kids that could not do it by themselves. For a few years, a couple of years maybe, he went knocking on doors, and when he knew that it was somebody that had a voice. And then slowly, the project became known, and every year he would edit a CD with one song for each participant. Sometimes there were 12, sometimes there were 13 participants. And he would pay for the recordings, and at that time, each track would cost almost $700, and he was paying for the thing all by himself, and with no return profit, none whatsoever. So he went on for almost 10 years doing that, and he discovered a lot of talent in our community. Some of them are now professional artists, and others are still trying to discover their own way by themselves. And so Venus Creations have already been a non-profit foundation, and in mind to help people, musicians and singers alike. And after so many years, things turned a bit difficult for Joe, financially speaking. So 2009 was the last year that he did it. But then, because he has always that tendency of helping and organizing, that's when he turned to Venus Creations in the neighborhood.
I believe that the best community efforts are the ones where businesses and charity both benefit. So they both do, they both help, they both do good, and they also support the participants. And I think if we would be able to get Venus Creations to the next level in the way of actually doing these events and actually doing combined initiatives, is that we could actually achieve a lot. for the community and also for each of the participants. I believe that there is a benefit for all of us. And I look forward to actually hearing your ideas and your sort of suggestions, because we don't believe that we know it all, and we would invite and welcome any suggestions and ideas you may actually have. And I look forward to actually working with all of you somewhere along the lines, either with the VIA or with Venus Creation or as a combined effort. And I would like to thank you all for actually having me. This meeting is, as usual, very nice, and it's great. And thank you again for listening.
So on behalf of Venus Creations, I don't know who I should actually be giving this.
Oh, over there.
Okay. So a book is going to be dedicated in your name.
Thank you very much.
Caros amigos do videosilva.com e da Venus Creations, eu sou o Avelino Teixeira. Esta é uma rubrica Rescaldos da Comunidade Portuguesa e hoje, de uma forma muito especial, encontro-me aqui no Columbus Center. Estou no meio de pessoas fantásticas, muito interessantes, que pertencem a uma organização chamada Rotary Club. Aqui à minha esquerda eu tenho o Michael e aqui à minha direita tenho Pauline. Michael, first of all, I would like you to tell me, where are you from? Do you live in Toronto?
Live in Toronto, born and raised.
Born and raised. Tell me something about Rotary Club. How did you get involved in it?
Well, actually, the Rotary Club I belong to is called the Rotary Club of Etobicoke, and I was invited by a business associate to their 75th anniversary dinner of the club. And one of the things that came out at that meeting was Rotary's motto, and that's service above self. And that spoke to me, and I really wanted to give back to the community, and that's why I joined the Rotary Club.
Okay. And how do you go about giving back to the community?
Well, we give back to the community by doing fundraising projects. We fundraise, and our main fundraising event is called the Toronto Rib Fest. And every year we put that on the Canada Day weekend at Centennial Park in Toronto. And there we raise upwards of $250,000 annually that we then turn around and the club gives back and helps out in the community, both locally and internationally.
Centennial Park, if my memory serves me correct, is on Eglinton, between Eglinton and Martin Grove. That's right.
That's correct,
right.
Yeah.
So it's done every year?
It's done every year. This year in 2012 will be our 13th annual event, and we have over 200,000 people that come out over that 4-day event. And it's a wonderful time. We have great fun. It's a real family event. People come out for a picnic, and they really enjoy themselves. On Canada Day, of course, we have the fireworks display that comes on at 10 o'clock in the evening, and we also have a new citizenship ceremony, which we hold every day at noon, on Canada Day at noon. And we induct 30 new Canadians into Canada on that day. It's a really wonderful event.
It certainly is. As I understand it, the admittance is free.
Free parking and free admission. You just have to pay for your ribs and your food and your beer. Paul Harris started Rotary in 1905. So in the year 2005, Rotary celebrated its 100th anniversary. So it was started, Paul Harris was a Chicago lawyer. He'd come from a small town, and what he wanted to do was he missed in Chicago. He missed that small town feeling where all the businessmen knew each other. So he started this networking club for businessmen. And at that time, they all got together and they met once a week. And there were 4 fellows that initially started Rotary, and every week they rotated from one office to the next, and that's how Rotary got its name.
Oh, I see. So it seems to me that every city has its own Rotary Club, or is
yes,
it?
There are 1.2 million Rotarians in the world, and there's over 30,000 clubs in over 200 countries in the world today.
All working towards...
All working to give back to the community to make this world a better place. And Rotary has really been able to, with their stature, they've been able to get into countries where other service organizations have not been able to do, because the leaders of those countries understand that Rotary is there for peaceful purposes. And so it's really a very special privilege that we have. The major goal that Rotary's had since 1985 was the elimination to eradicate polio from the world. And we're 99% of the way there. We're just this close from eradicating polio from the world. So we're really excited about
As I heard during the meeting, there's only 2 countries that have to be eliminated.
Well, there were 4 countries. There was Pakistan, Afghanistan, India, and what am I missing now? Nigeria. And India in the last year has come off that list, so there's just 3 countries right now where it's endemic, where we still have the polio virus.
Was that a specific reason why it was supposedly to be only men in a club?
Well, when Rotary started, it was a businessman's club, and it was for networking purposes. And each Rotary club, as a matter of fact, they could only have one profession like one lawyer, one doctor, one banker in the club. And so if another lawyer and banker wanted to start, they'd have to start their own Rotary Club.
Okay.
And then it has evolved from there and to the point where today they've admitted women and they have more than one category one business category in a Rotary Club.
Thank you very much for your time, Michael, as well, and I really appreciate it, and I wish you well in your endeavors, because it's a wonderful organization, and God help you.
Good, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Minhas senhoras e meus senhores, aqui na presença de Michael e de Pauline, aqui no Columbus Center, onde assistimos a uma reunião do Rotary Club interessante, e foi tudo aqui explicado pela boca do Sr. Michael e da Sra. Paulina. Aqui de Toronto para Venus Creations e videosilva.com, Avelino Teixeira.
Está bem que melhor mereças pelos anos que trabalhaste, mas também nunca esqueças a família que deixaste.